Hi everyone, I'm going to talk about my passion project, which is chess. And this is my little helper, Max. So, I'm going to first talk a little bit about the history of chess. Chess had been played for more than 100 years. Chess started in northern India in the 6th century AD. Soon it spread to Persia. Chess then spread to places like Russia and Spain. The different countries changed the original chess into many different versions. Right now, I have two versions of chess, Chinese chess and US chess. And they are different. So I'm going to first talk a little bit about the US chess. So the United States chess is 8 by 8. The horizontal way is the ranks, and the vertical ways is the file. That's how you could tell like where the pieces are, and by writing. So the pieces are on the squares of the board.
What are these pieces?
Which piece should I start with? Well, this piece is called the king. It is the most important piece. Importance does not equal strongest. The king can move in any direction. Vertically, horizontally, and diagonally. But it can only move one square, in any of those directions. And like here, like if the king is right here, it could go here, 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 or here, or here. So, yeah, which piece should I talk about next? Okay, well, this is the... Oh yeah, and I'm gonna talk a little more about the king later on because I need the other pieces. This is the queen. It is the most powerful piece. You only get one on the board at the beginning. So this the queen, it could move in any direction, same as the king, but it could move as many squares as you want. So yeah, that's pretty much why it's the most powerful. So which piece should I talk about next? Okay, well, these are the bishops. At the beginning of the game, you will have two bishops. Say these bishops are right here. One bishop would be on a light squared, and one would be on a dark. These, the bishops, they will always stay on the color that they start on. These bishops go diagonally, as many spaces as you want. So yeah, which piece should I do next? Okay, well, these are the knights. The knights, they move, they're the only piece on the board that could, hop over pieces. Like this. This knight could jump over this pawn if it's at the beginning. And the knights, they have a special way of moving. They will move 2 spaces forward and 1 sideways. So, yeah. Which piece should I do next? Okay, these are the rooks. They are the second most powerful piece. At the beginning, you will have 2 rooks. The rooks can move vertically and horizontally. And that's pretty much all. So, and now the last pieces are the pawns. You will start with 8 pawns. The pawns are usually the weakest piece on the board. So, the pawns, at the beginning, you may move 2 squares. Like 2 squares forward, if your pawn did not move at all. Once you move your pawn, you may not move it 2 squares again. And yeah, So I'm gonna talk a little more about the king. So the king, you need to protect it. That's the reason it's the most important piece. It is because if you lose the king, you will lose the game. You have to protect it with these pieces, but you can also capture the opponent's pieces. Capturing happens when you land on the piece, or but the pawns are different. When they capture diagonally. So if the black goes, if there's a pawn here and there's a white pawn here, white pawn may capture this pawn. The white pawn, yeah, because the pawns capture diagonally. Other pieces, like all the other pieces, capture by landing on the piece. Like if here's a rook, this rook could, if the rook somehow got here, it could kill, attack this, or it could capture this pawn, but that wouldn't be worth it. So these are kind of like the points to kind of have you, to kind of let you have a good deal. But there are actually no points. This is kind of just to let you know if you did a good deal of like attacking an opponent's piece. Pawns are worth 1 point. Bishops and knights are both worth 3 points. Rooks are worth 5 points, and queens are worth 9. The king doesn't have any points because when you capture it, because when you lose it, will lose the game. And that's pretty much a quick talk about the U.S. chess. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about Chinese chess. Chinese chess has some similarities. Like the stuff that I'm putting pieces on means that they're like the same piece. These are the pieces that are the same as the Chinese chess. Although some move a little differently, like the king has to stay inside this box. You could see it on this side right here. It has to stay inside this box. And the difference between the bishop is that it's only for protecting the king. It may not attack. It has to stay behind this part. So the bishop can only move 2 squares. Like this, at the starting point, this bishop can move there, and it cannot jump pieces. The knight can be blocked. Different. It's kind of hard to explain, but if there's the Chinese chess, the knight has to move 2 squares forward and then 1 sideways. So, if there's one piece at the right in front of the knight, that knight may not move that direction. For example, if this piece is here, this knight may not go here or here, because, yeah. Oh, yeah, and the pieces are, instead of being on the squares, the pieces are on these parts, the, like, dots or stuff. The rook is exactly the same. The pawns are really different. In the middle, there would be a place without any lines in the middle. That's kind of for pawns. Like these there are only 5 pawns, and once you cross this part, the pawns can move in any direction except diagonally, but only 1 square. So yeah. No, and the pawns can't move backwards. So yeah, that's kind of like a quick talk about Chinese chess.